If you guys need any cards, packs, sleeves, anything of that nature, shop on TCG Player using my affiliate link in the description. What's good, YouTube? Today we're going to be going over some matches that I played with the man, the myth, the legend, Zeuxid himself. I'm going to be linking his channel somewhere in the video, so definitely go check him out. He's one of the best Edison format creators on the website right now, for sure. Definitely one of my favorite. And he messaged me this morning, just wanted to play some games for, I think, a video that he's making. So if you want to check out his POV, it's probably over on his channel. Yeah, I asked him if I could use this for some content as well, because, I'm all about that daily upload grind, and he said sure thing. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. We played 2 matches, I think. I was playing the MOJA cat deck that I've been very hyped about lately, and he was playing one of his oldest lists, which is the Berserk Dragon deck. Basically, I know, very out there, right? There's this card called Deal with Dark Ruler that you use to summon Berserk Dragon. It's like an Amaryllis build, where basically you need a level 8 or higher monster to be destroyed, and then you can just activate this quick play spell to summon a 3500 dude from your deck. And I guess this thing has some other effects. Yeah, it can attack everything your opponent controls once each, and then it also weakens itself, apparently. I didn't know that, but it doesn't really matter, right? You're just like summoning this and hitting for a bunch. And it's also like a skill drain deck too, which is an interesting thing. I definitely tried some like skill drain Amaryllis builds myself when I was back experimenting with that. That was a while ago, before I even started the channel. So anyway, I think I won RPS. The obvious play here is to go charge, set, hamster, right? Because they're going to play like it's a Raikou, and then it's just a hamster, They actually just full pass, which is interesting. The bad play would have been summoning Dandelion and then attacking it, and of course, thinking that it was Raikou, but Zeuxid kind of resisting that. I guess maybe just wants to resolve this Gores, which I can kind of see. I decide to go ahead, and after a while, I'm just like, all right, let's summon Cat. Let's summon Cat, and let's hit in. They want to resolve this Gores before Skill Drain, which is why we didn't just get owned by Skill Drain here. So we go ahead, we rip the Skill Drain, actually, which is insane. We definitely needed that. I don't know why they didn't drop Gores, though. Maybe they wanted to minimize the chance that Skill Drain got ripped or something. I could kind of see that. I thought they dropped Gores here, but I guess not. So we just make Stardust and then set Call. So now we're in a really good spot, right? We just got so much. I don't know. They need to rely on this Gores to carry them or something, because this hand's just not doing anything. And actually, they scoop it up and we go into the second game. So bricking on the Berserk Dragon's not good. One awkward thing about Berserk Dragon is that the Deal with Dark Ruler spell can't summon it from graveyard. So, like, you would think you could maybe just play, like, one, right? You could just play one Berserk Dragon, but with this, it's like if you mill it or something, or I don't know. It's just, like, gone. If you trade in it, so kind of awkward, but they're going to start with trade in Amaryllis, and they got a Dust Shoot, so that's not bad. One thing is, like, the Skill Drain plant build can't really support Raikous to the same extent, which means you have a tough job filling up your graveyard for the Amaryllis. It's one of the main reasons that I didn't end up going that route. Anyway, we get Dust Shooted, but, classic Edison format moment. You Dust Shoot them, and then you see, oh no, their Dust Shoot's coming for me. So I decided to set the Raikou here. I actually decided to set everything. I didn't think that I was getting much value out of the Trag when they knew it was there. I guess, it's kind of harder to play around Trag, but I also don't think that they're playing Raikous because I saw the Skill Drain, so I think setting Raikou into the set monster is just perfectly fine. Obviously, we just shotgun the Dust Shoot. They know it's there. We take the Sangan. It's like the only live monster in their entire hand after they've top decked Titanial. Really unlucky. Unlucky draws here for Zeuxid. I'm just going to set pass. At this point, I think I just pass as well. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. Now, I decide we can go in. We got the Giant Rat. We mill King, which is very good, right? I mean, milling King, always great. We hit into the Tragodia. I set the Mirror Force, but then I realized, wait, this is a Deal with Dark Ruler. If I Mirror Force this, he's just going to, like, out everything. So I decide to just chill and let him hit over that. Now we can get back King, hit over. Unfortunately, this will allow him to resolve the Deal with Dark Ruler card, but that's fine because we can just Mirror Force it next turn. And he kind of plays into the Mirror Force here. Could have just hit with, Berserk Dragon just outs his whole field. I guess he wanted to crash with Tomato and, like, get whatever he wanted, but you could have just, like, gone in with Berserk Dragon and outed everything and then set the Tomato, play around Mirror Force. But going to get Mirror Forced, I think that's kind of going to be it for that one, because he's got 4 level 8 monsters in hand. So after that, I'm like, all right, he bricked really bad, so we're going to do another match. Let's see. I think I won RPS again. We opened Hamster. This deck plays 2 Hamster. I'll show you the list at the end, actually, because it is slightly different from the list that I had the other day. I'm liking this version a lot. I got some good suggestions from people in the comment section, so thank you very much for that. Anyway, Zuxid's got a solid hand here, right? Can resolve trade in. He's got that skill drain. He's got some good starters. So good stuff going on. Hitting in with the Sandgun. Unfortunately, it is that Hamster. I'm thinking for a while here about what I can get, and I decide to just get Raikou. I considered Airbellum because, maybe we could just go in with Airbellum and try to hand rip or something, hit over with Hamster, hit in with Airbellum, but that's only a 1-for-1 basically, or it's a +1 because we clear the Sangan, and the Sangan replaces itself, and then we rip a card, and also it plays better around Skill Drain to not get Raikou, but at the end of the day, I decided to get Raikou to try and discourage him from setting stuff. The fact that he does set stuff means, I just know it's Skill Drain, so I'm like, all right, best we can do is try and force it right now. With the card trooper, we mill King again, which just, god tier. Yeah, absolutely amazing. We only play 1 King, but we just keep milling it. That's just the card path luck, So opponent going to search a lone fire. Definitely, at this point, I'm like, all right, it's Skill Drain. Absolutely, it's Skill Drain, and that means we're not resolving this Raikou. So he just summons Barbaros. I hold off on Bottomlessing. I want to save this for Titanial, I guess, or maybe Berserk Dragon. So he hits in. I just let this go. Skill Drain, get out the Raikou, whatever. At least I forced him to flip it up. And now we draw exactly what I wanted to see, which is Mystical Space Typhoon specifically. So we can out that Skill Drain. So I mill more with the Trooper, which I'm trying to get this Avarice live, obviously. We do Mirror Force at this point. Another, very good Mirror Force for us. And I'm thinking this Gores looks dead a lot. I don't know if you should be playing it with the Skill Drains and the Call. But it's weird because Gores is so good. you really want to play Gores and just try to shove it in everything. So I mill some more cards, and now that Avarice is live, so we're gonna Avarice everything back, leaving the King of the Beasts in the graveyard, of course, as the one monster remaining. Now here we do just set Raikou. I finally set the MST. I didn't want to set it before because it's my out to this Skill Drain. So now I figure, all right, he swings into the Raikou, I can MST the Skill Drain, and then we can get a little plus sort of there. I do Bottomless the Titanial, because obviously that will stop my Raikou. And now we go for the play I mentioned. We Typhoon, we Raikou kill it. Nice. We mill 3. I really shouldn't have milled 3 here. I was my brain was telling me to stop milling with Card Trooper, but my heart was no, we mill. And then I mill my 3rd Avarice and Heavy Storm. I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god, we're just we're going to run out of gas, aren't we? It's going to be a serious issue. And yeah, you're going to see that's going to be a big problem. So I think I do decide to set Call the Haunted. Opponent top decks Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Very good here to potentially stop my next play. We draw a card. I make a really weird decision on this next turn. Yeah, I don't know. I should have just set Raikou. Should 100% have just set Raikou and popped the back row. But for some reason I go for Monk, pitch my Book of Moon, which is also my only way of playing around Skill Drain if he happens to have the second one. We just go for Colossal, and then the Colossal just eats a Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. So yeah, I made a lot of misplays in this match in hindsight. I think that was definitely a big one. I don't see why I did that. Anyway, we go Rat into MOJA, and then he hits over the other Rat, sensing that I'm out of targets, I guess. So here, it's I either go for Black Rose, which plays into Skill Drain, or I go for Colossal, which plays into Phoenix Wing. So I think I decide to go for the Colossal Fighter after a big think. I go for the Colossal. I think the double bonk is just too appealing. Does work out, but the opponent can use the deal with Dark Ruler to summon a Berserk Dragon, which, it hits over the Colossal, but we just summon Colossal in defense. He could just keep hitting over this Colossal infinitely, I guess, which is, whatever, but it doesn't do anything. So we out the Berserk Dragon with the Raikou. Opponent going to set a card, which is an enemy controller. Definitely an interesting tech choice. I think Econ can be very sick in a lot of these plant decks. Maybe in this situation I was too passive. I probably should have summoned Airbellum. I think I should have just summoned Airbellum. But instead I just hit over and then give him a search for a tomato or a dandy to stall more with, and I've only got 4 cards left in my deck. I think I just needed to be more aggressive. We set the Hamster. I'm pretty sure there's no targets, so whatever. We could have Torrentialed here and then summoned Airbellum, but I think it's unlikely that would have worked. Actually, I made a big mistake there. I forgot Tomato's defense stat. I tried to hit in with Hamster first, which just doesn't work. I needed to summon the Airbellum there, so just took a turn off my clock. This would be game if we get over the Plague, but he's just got the Econ to stop me. However, he doesn't have anything else, so we kind of just win with a bunch of dudes on the board and no cards left in our deck. So that was a really weird game 1. The decision to mill with the trooper was so dumb. I just like lost my heavy in my third pot of avarice. I mean, sometimes you just mill all your pots, but like there was no reason to risk it there. I think usually I'm pretty good about like understanding when I need to stop milling this trooper, but that game I was just like, no, one more time. So this game two kind of echoes the last game two, where I get dust shooted and he puts back a hamster, and then I dust shoot him back. We take away DD Crow because I got this avarice. At this point, I think the appealing idea is to swing with Airbellum, but we know he's got that Tragodia, and if he drops Trag, he could steal our Airbellum by pitching the Dandelion and then hit in direct and rip a card and synchro, and that would be really, 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 really bad. Also, if I set this Raikou, he could just swing in with Dandelion. So I decided to do nothing. I decided to do nothing and just sit here with my Gorz Trag. They redraw the DD Crow. It turns out it didn't shuffle. And then they draw again. They draw Barbaros. I think they end up redrawing DD Crow anyway. At this point, I set the Raikou. Right. And it turns out this was just Dandelion, which I thought was pretty likely. But I just wanted to like set my Raikou, start getting this Avarice live before he redraws DD Crow. Maybe I shouldn't have gone for this Minecon play. I think this was a little bit aggressive for no reason. I could have just set Judgment past here. Although we are in like danger of just getting... this deck can put out a lot of damage, so maybe it was fine. We don't even clear all the tokens is the thing, though. So I go set AFD. I consider setting Judgment, but then we don't. We Sark for Cat. That'll get the Avarice live. And I think they draw Crow this turn. Yeah, really unfortunate, because Avarice just gets live now. And I'm like, oh man, they redrew the Crow. It ends up really screwing me up here. So got to wait for another Avarice, I guess. Opponent draws a Lone Fire. Very good. Going to hit into the Hamster. I think I make a weird choice where I go for MOJA. Yeah. I decided I don't want to go for Raikou right now. Because I only got one of those left in my deck. And I need the cat to make a Cataster, maybe. So we just get back the Hamster with the freaking MOJA and have this Gorz Trag chilling in our hand. So at this point, I could go for the cat play, but I decided not to. Which was maybe wrong. Maybe I should have just gone for Cataster here. Because I think the Raikou and the Airbellum are the only targets for Hamster left in my deck. So if he hits in, I have to make like this awkward choice to just search nothing, which I could do, I guess. But now it's fine because we just go for Cat Torrential. Very funny play you can do. Just out the whole board, go into Cat plus Raikou, and this essentially, the Econ here is just going to trade 1 for 1, so it's basically the same thing as ripping a card, and we make a Cataster because that will out the Titanial. We have to just pass back and forth, though, because we know they have Gorz. So here we hit in 22 with the Cataster. The Gorz is going to come down. We bounce back the Gorz with the Grand Mole. And I end up like 10 turns later forgetting, I think, that I bounced back the Gorz. It comes back to bite me really hard. So the opponent, they have Skill Drain pretty clearly. Like, they just have Skill Drain right now. So I'm like, okay, we're just going to have to Judgment the activation of Skill Drain, which we do. They could have Phoenix Winged this Cataster in the battle step, but they opt not to do that. And I'm not really sure why, because it just like the Cataster is threatening your whole board here. So I set my cards, figure we got Trag to stay alive, and I'd rather just have my back row be live. So they're drawn, they find Plague Spreader, they go Phoenix Wing the Cataster on Declaration. So I decided to call here to stop the Barbaros attack from going through. Then they hit over my AFD. We can drop Tragodia, and then we can pitch the Gorz to steal back the Gorz token, which is pretty funny. And here's where I just forget they have Gorz. This was not actually 10 turns later. This was like 3 turns later or something. Yeah, very dumb. Very dumb decision by me. I should have summoned the Grand Mole first, I guess. Yeah, I should have summoned the Grand Mole. So they hit with the token. I decided to just let that go through. I considered compulsing my own Tragodia, which would have been funny, but I decided to just let it go. So the Amaryllis is going to come back. I bottomless it. That's fine. We go for Storm, Chain Compulse to put back the Set Monster. Then Grand Mole, put back the Gorz, hit over the Gorz token here. Yeah, so we get Torrential. This is a big Torrential. Definitely, like, we would have won. But no, they can just stack Plague and summon Dad here, which is funny. And our set is a Mirror Force, so it doesn't really do anything to keep us alive, and we're going to end up losing the duel there. So, pretty long one. I made some misplays for sure, and then we end up getting killed by Dark Armed. This game, I decided to bring in Iron Wall just because, like, I saw the opponent bring in, like, Crow, which was disrupting the Avarice and was being annoying. I don't know if this is actually right to bring in Iron Wall in hindsight. I also don't know that it's right to bring in Crow to disrupt the Avarice, so kind of all around weird siding decisions going on in this game. Like, I probably would have been better off just like letting him side crow, just like maybe even I don't know, just like what else does the Iron Wall even do? Is what I'm thinking. It's crow. I guess it stops Dad and Allure, and it stops Amaryllis, which is a big one. But this deck's not playing the equip spells, so it only stops like the Amaryllis from coming back, I guess, which is good. And that is like a legitimate. That was probably factored into my decision making here, of just thinking, oh, Iron Wall is very strong against the Amaryllis deck, but this isn't a conventional Amaryllis build, so it's not as strong. So maybe I could have just brought in like one Iron Wall. I think I brought in two. This might have been like a cursed one Iron Wall matchup. Anyway, we just let the Titanial trade with the Raikou, and yeah, apparently this works even if you tribute the Titanial. That's crazy. I'm in this awkward spot where I feel like I need to compulse the Berserk Dragon just to like not take all this damage. And we draw the second Iron Wall, and at this point it's like, goddamn, why do I have two Iron Wall here? Of course, we just set. I think I set them both. They haven't pro-heavied me once, so at this point I'm just like, hopefully it won't happen. Now the cat should come to the hand. I do go for the Avarice, thinking I can just chain the Iron Wall. I guess I should have. Maybe I could have played around Judgment by just like preemptively flipping Iron Wall. I didn't even know Judgment was in his deck though, so I'm not sure. I mean, it definitely sucks. I think we just end up setting our cards, and then Raikou's gonna kill that, and hopefully not mill our last Air Bellum, but it does mill our last Air Bellum. So now it's like we're in the second pot waiting room or something. We can go into MOJA and bring back King, I guess, if we really want. We also have a Call the Haunted. We could have here used Call to bring back Air Bellum, summon Sangan, Synchro 6, get a search, put back our Call, maybe? I'm not sure how great of a play that was, though. We do get Stormed, but we have a Chainable, so it's just a 1-for-1. And the opponent doesn't really have a follow-up play. They could have Tribute Summoned Amaryllis Swing just to get that going. I'm not really sure. They kind of probably prefer to have the Tomato. I just set everything because the Heavy's gone. So we set all three. Now we Dust Shoot. We see. I should have held this. I should have held this until I like had another Avarice to make sure I don't get crowed, because we have one Arabellum left that isn't banished, and we need it to not get banished when we go for the second Avarice. Although they would probably, I don't know if they would chain Crow to Dust Shoot. It's like a pretty bad play to chain Crow to Dust Shoot, because then they just get to rip something else. So we go for the Avarice, leaving. There is an Arabellum in my deck. I make a super weird play though. So we do go for the Sangan Torrential, obviously really strong here. Just trading with their whole board. Torrential Tribute is just a crazy card, right? You can do stuff like that. It's just a dark hole, but it's also like a disruption, So we grab the Grand Mole just to secure a future position after we have a strong field this turn. And here's where I actually summon the other Raikou in my deck and a MOJA instead of making any Airbellum play, because this just ends on a 25, which is kind of like better than ending on Android or Catastor, debatably. And then also it leaves a an Airbellum in our deck, so that we still have that as a potential future threat, rather than just more Raikous when we've already gone through double Avarice. So I think this was fine. I kind of wanted to just summon out King. So we clear everything. We got King on the board. We set 3 back row. There's no Heavy Storm. Now we just go in with the Grand Mole and the Kings. 2-turn clock. We have Brain Control. We have 3 back row. Pretty hard to see how we lose at this point. And they draw Gores 1 turn too late. So it kind of just bricked on a bunch of big dudes. I guess this is a pretty interesting build by Zeuxid, turning the Amaryllis thing into some Barbaros Scale Drain with the Berserk Dragons and stuff. Definitely, it felt like Berserk Dragon was the best part about the deck. Like, I guess, provided that Berserk Dragon isn't in his hand, which it was a lot. Very unlucky draws for Zeuxid, it felt like. But yeah, interesting build. If you want to see more of it, go check out Zeuxid's channel. He's got a ton of crazy, wacky ideas, much like myself, but, even more out there sometimes than me. So as I mentioned, definitely go subscribe to him. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. You thought I forgot. I did the whole outro and everything, and, well, maybe I did forget, but I remembered again, so it's all okay. We're going to be going over the current MOJA Cat deck profile. Now, as you can see, previously I was talking about how I didn't like Legacy of Yada, and I wanted to take them out, and there was like just like these options on the table of like Cyber Dragon, Upstart Goblin, whatever. A couple people, both someone in the comments section and then also Dimitri in my my like team Discord suggested Gold Sark to me, and at first I'm like, I don't like Gold Sark, you know. No, I've never been a fan of this card. Just feels like really kind of mid and slow, and like the information too, like these big power cards are a lot less scary when they just can like know about them and play around them. But I decided to test it out, and it's actually been amazing, I gotta say. Just like the ability to go for like any part of your deck's game plan of just like get the sweeper, right, or get the cat. I mean, getting Cold Wave actually is like impossible to play around pretty much, unlike heavy. Or just like get the cat to make sure that you're gonna get to cat. Like we have a lot of ways of searching cat, but you know it just is like sort of another one. Or you can even like Sark for Avarice, which I've done before. If you already have like the other halves of your game plan set up, just so you can like put everything back, get that plus. And like sort of like Upstart is just another spell that adds to your spell count for Monk. But it's been testing really good. I've definitely been a fan of the Gold Sark. I haven't even really been siding it out or anything, even going second. So I've definitely been supportive of that suggestion. It's been working out really well, and I think this list is like super polished, super clean, almost perfect. I pretty much wouldn't change anything. We can go over the rest of it really quick. The MOJA package, we got 1 King, 1 Beast Striker, 2 MOJA. The cat, we got double Airbellum, we got the cat, Summoner Monk, Sangan, we got Gorge Trag, of course, the Rat Box Engine, we got 2 rats with a Card Trooper and a Neospatian Grand Mole, and then we have double Hamster, triple Raikou Charge, so a very large Raikou engine in here. I'm on double Hamster because it's a level 4 Earth Beast monster, so it's like, you know, has a lot of inherent pretty strong synergy, plus Hamster can summon Raikou, or it can summon Airbellum, if you want to like flip it up, go for a Brain Mind play or something next turn. And it can summon MOJA, which can just like float into something else, or float into Hamster, or, you know, you can revive King with it. So like you actually just have a lot of options with Hamster. This is one of the best Hamster decks, unironically, in the entire format. Hamster just does so much for you. So that's why we're on all of these Hamsters when normally I'm like, probably just 1 Hamster or something, or maybe even 0 Hamster in a deck like this with no Caiuses or any ways to convert that are actually good. But in here, I'm just like, nah, we need Hamster. Hamster's based. Hamster's really good. So triple Avarice, absolute necessity, as you saw from the video. Like, you just always want to be hitting those Avarices, right? You never want the Avarice to stop. You always want more Avarices. Like, it's always just gotta put it back, do it again. Gotta put it back, do it again. That's really the game plan with this deck. Unlike later MOJA builds that try to do these looping with Kinkabayu, our loop is we put it back with Avarice and we special it from the deck again with Cat. That's the way we're looping it. So other than that, we got Brain Mind, Cold Wave, Heavy Storm, Typhoon, and then 1 Book, 1 Compulse. These cards serve similar purposes. I was on 2 Book before. I decided to switch it up and put in 1 Compulse because we got some extra spells here with the Gold Sarks, and then the trap lineup pretty much remains the same otherwise. So I don't want to talk too much about the side and extra. I mean, it's just like generic side and extra cards. You get it. That's the MOJA Cat build that I played in the match against Zeuxid. I think that this deck is actually reasonably strong. I know this is feeling like I'm backpedaling because, you know, I kind of like laughed along with other people and agreed that MOJA is probably not good, but really, this is feeling like one of the strongest cat decks I've ever played, unironically. There's just this weird synergy with like the Rat Box and the Hamster being insane and whatnot that just feels very strong. And like, and from all the replays that I've shown, we've been able to see that King has actually been pretty good. Like, we've just been, you know, summoning it out over and over again, and it's just got like great synergy. I don't know. It's just kind of like the stars aligned for the strategy somehow in my brain. So I'm a big fan of the MOJA deck, and I hope you guys are as well. I know you guys have been as well. I've seen all the supportive comments of like, I'm a MOJA believer now too. So yeah. All right, now that's the real ending of the video. Peace out. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Furthermore, if you enjoy my content, you should think about becoming a channel member. You get access to tons of bonus content, and it's a great way to help support the channel.